Hi, my name is Dustin Merritt, and I worked at Fry's Electronics in Chicago.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Francia, and I've worked at 30 Best Buy locations and Fry's in San Diego.
Alright, guys. So, the questions I have today are basically about Best Buys and Fries. And I basically wanted to ask you guys simple questions like how you like working there and about the store in general. So, for example, Jimmy, how do you like working at the Best Buys and Fries?
Best Buy tends to have a more consumer based um, layout for their store. Most customers actually know, like they see where things are and they can actually point it out. As where Fry's has an issue where they have everything, and everything is not labeled so clearly, so you have to get help in every turn. So that's where I feel like the difference was for Best Fries and Fry.
So, same question for Dustin. How do you like working at Fries?
Um, in general, if I was going to rate my experience working at Fry's on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 2. The reason being, like Jimmy said, was that the layout, it's a very big store, and they have a wide variety of products. They have a lot of employees, but there's a high turnover rate because they don't really train their employees, and it's just kind of a lot of chaos when you're working there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, yeah, basically, I would say that it's kind of a confusing experience.
How long did you guys each work at the stores you guys worked at?
Well, I worked at Best Buy for about the last 6 years now, working on different programs from Dell, Canon, and other consumer electronic companies. Uh, and then, ooh, and then at Fry's, I worked there for about one summer.
Yeah, and I worked at Fry's for a few months.
Okay. So if you guys were to choose either Best Buy or Fry's to work at, which one would it be and why?
If I had to work based on how much money you make, I would choose Fry's just because it is mostly based on commissions, where Best Buy doesn't really have a commission structure. But I like the atmosphere. It's kind of like a high school atmosphere at Best Buy, so I really like that. If I had to go for work environment.
Yeah, and at Fry's, um, like Jimmy said, I think the pay is probably better in many cases for, starting pay plus commission. There's incentive sales, but at the same time, you don't get the intimate atmosphere. You don't get a tight knit group like you would at Best Buy.
Okay. So Jimmy, since you worked at both, how would you explain the rebate system in both places, Best Buy and Fry's?
As in like discount rebates?
Yes.
I would say that Best Buy's rebate system, that's the only one I can really remember,
Mm-hmm.
was really focused on, uh, like say you got, I worked in the TV department, so if you signed up for DirecTV, which was my position at the time, you could actually get $100 off directly when you're at the store off your purchase. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
Fry's, you'd have to send in a coupon to DirecTV and then get your money back later.
Mm-hmm.
So more instantaneous at Best Buy.
Okay. So how would you guys describe about the places Fry's and both Best Buys, like the setting up and the organizing the store? Do you think it was well, like from a scale 1 to 10? Like how would you guys rate it and why?
Um, well, again, like Best Buy is kind of a smaller store than Fry's in general, so it's more tightly packed and probably more clearly defined sections. Where Fry's seems to be a much bigger layout with many more products and a little more confusing shopping experience, I'd say. So, yeah, I'd probably rate Best Buy as being easier to find what you need and probably more helpful employees in general, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, for customer experience, it'd definitely be Best Buy. We get at least an 8. For the amount of products that they offer, I would say, like, if you are a tech savvy person like Dustin and I, or you already know what you want to get, there's a reason they have a Fry's is because it's everything's there, and if you want to make your own custom computer, you have the access to do it. So if you're looking at as like a geek and a customer that already knows what they want, I would go to Fry's. But for customer experience and just all around kindness, I guess it would be Best Buy.
Okay. Would you guys agree that Fry's has more technology savvy workers because it's more hardware of a computer than the computer itself?
I personally think that Fry's, in a general sense, does a poor job at being technically savvy. My personal experience is that I was hired on based on my resume saying that I had sales experience. There was no questions asked about my sales background. They just looked at me having sales experience and placed me in an open sales position. But what they didn't ask was if I had knowledge about car audio, which is what I was selling, which I had no experience, but I needed a job, so I took it. So that kind of, to me, shows that there's a weakness in just the hiring process in general and the value placed on knowledge of certain products, not only because they're hiring me without me having the proper training or knowledge, but when they hired me on, there was no training program in place either. It was, you only get trained if you are not selling properly. So I found that to be kind of a backward sort of approach where I think you should train the employee up front rather than train them later when they may be struggling. So I think in a sense when customers come in, that could be a confusing experience when you're asking somebody for help, but then they just simply look at the box and tell you what the specs are on it when they could just do that themselves. So that's kind of insulting their intelligence.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, Dustin had a very in-depth look at it. He worked in a separate department than I did, which was the computer section / printer section. And those guys are really hired for their expertise in the matter. Like, they've either worked at a tech company or build computers on their own. So I would say for computers, they're a little bit more trained, but they're still overall, like he was saying, they're mostly made to be salespeople and hit a certain revenue goal, and attach the insurances and all those other ones. Without that, there's no business for them. So I would say that 9 times out of 10, they do a good job of informing the customer, but they have a big problem with, like he said, just comparative. Besides looking at a box, there's so many items that go in a Best Buy, in a Fry's row, that the market share is too much. And for the most part, just being a trainer myself, I had to instruct all my employees to actually read up on the material, do different kinds of trainings on top of the Fry's training. So yeah, any employee that I put up there, I made sure they were educated, but for the most part, nobody is educated in Fry's.
So since I am for Fry's, I was wondering, do you guys, what is your opinion when it comes to advertising? Because I know Best Buy, of course, advertises more. Why do you guys think Fry's is so private?
Let me take this one. You got it.
Beautiful.
Well, Fry's is more of a private organization because it's more founded here in California. They tend to go with the word of mouth kind of marketing, and if you look at their website compared to like a Best Buy website, Fry's actually has a focus on just certain prices or certain things for the day. You won't see, they'll compare prices with other stores, but they won't really like price match as Best Buy's specialty is. But the reason why you probably are for Fry's is because of the amount of great things you can find there. There's a lot of great deals. Like, you can get a camera for 20% off compared to paying for the advertising that Best Buy does, and so forth. So,
What would you guys say about Best Buy? On recent news, Best Buy is closing down some stores. Why do you guys think so?
If I was gonna, I don't have a really educated opinion on it, but my knee-jerk reaction would be that they just spend so much money on their advertising, and so their prices are gonna have to go up for their products, and if their prices are up and people are struggling financially, the economic situation is just, everyone knows about that, and there's websites available out there like Amazon.com, for example, where people can just log into there, find the same exact product for a much cheaper price, and have it sent straight to their house in practically a day or two, and it's just hard to compete with companies like that. A lot of people in general aren't looking for someone to explain what a product can do for them. A lot of the younger generation is tech savvy, where they already understand all that, and they just are money conscious, and they just really want that product at the cheapest price. And companies like Amazon can provide that over Best Buy.
Yeah, to add on top of that, Best Buy has a problem because they actually took over most of the market share for Circuit City and for Good Guys. So when you take the count of how close each Best Buy store is, so I used to cover 30 stores all over Los Angeles and Orange County. Each store is about a 5-mile radius from the next store. So all customers, if they go to a certain store, another Best Buy store will actually be taken out of business by themselves. So they're the only like major retail electronic company out there. And then now you have your Walmart, especially, that's been taking their market share at a retail level. But also, like you were saying, the online marketing and just everyone can access it, has the knowledge of CNET and all those things. But the major thing is that they're their worst enemy. They literally, each store will compete against each other to make sure the price goes down, and there's just no winner there. That's why they got to shut the stores down.
Another question I have is, so a lot of people ask me if so-and-so would go to a certain store. So where do you guys think Best Buy is geared to? Like more the young age or the old age? Do you think Fry's has an age that they gear more towards?
I personally say that Best Buy would probably be geared toward middle-aged people. I'd probably say anyone that's like 35 and up, I'd say would be, probably the people that are going there. They'd like a little information on some of the products. They maybe have a career that pays decent amount of money, and they can afford to maybe they're not comfortable with online and all of that, where there might be a divide, a digital divide between the generations. So maybe they feel more comfortable going to a brick and mortar location rather than an online. So that would be my guess. But at the same time, then there's gift cards being bought, and younger people will go and collect items from that. So yeah, I'd probably say a little bit older. And then with Fry's, I'd probably just say the same thing. That's what I.
Yeah, the reason why I asked this is because I've been told by customers at times who've gone to Best Buy or Fry's would tell me, Fry's workers wouldn't really come up to you unless you're an older person. And when it comes to Best Buy, they come up to all the workers. Well, they come up to all their customers, no matter if they're young at age or anything. That's why I've asked.
Well, I think Fry's has a sales marketing tactic that they only go for the people they can help and get some sort of commission off of, and Best Buy has no commissions. So that was the main differences between the two. And just to add up on top of the Best Buy explanation, most people go to Best Buy for information. They also go to play video games and try out the stuff. It's like a toy store for older kids. So you get a chance to play with it. As in Fry's, you might get to play with it, but they're going to ask you the questions, and they're going to sell it to you and get you out of the store within 10 minutes. So, different setup.
Do you guys think Fry's is more family orientated? Because I know Fry's is owned by the brothers, Fry's brothers. So I was wondering, do you guys believe it's more family orientated? Because I know within the Fry's building, sometimes they have like a cafe or like an eating place for you guys to sit down and as well as you guys shop.
Being working at the Fry's for about a year, you can tell that the family structure is there, but in any kind of retail establishment, you have to have some sort of team bonding or whatnot. But just to have a cafe, it's one of their major hits. They're trying to be like a Costco of electronics, so bringing people to buy pizza or whatever they're buying, and then on top of that, go buy an electronic. So I see it.
So this is the end of the interviews. Do you guys have any last comments about Best Buys or Fry's you would like to let me know about? Because I'm writing an essay about the comparison about both. So any last comments?
I guess my last comment would be, okay, my last comment would be, make sure you do your homework before you go to either of these stores, just because you might see an advantage with going to Fry's because you're a Fry's loyalist or you're a Best Buy loyalist. It doesn't really matter because now the consumer nowadays is smarter. You have a chance to do your homework before you go in, and don't always trust that salesperson, unfortunately, because they're there to make money and not be as informative as they want to. So don't trust the blue shirt. Give it a shot.
Was it easy working with the workers you guys worked with at Fry's, or the managers, or in general coworkers?
See, the problem I didn't work at Best Buy, but my personal experience at Fry's, like we've been touching on a little bit, is being that it's commission-based sales. I felt like the camaraderie between the employees wasn't as good as it probably would be at Best Buy, because at Fry's you're competing against the people that you're working with, where at Best Buy you're kind of working together to create an experience for the customer, and in that sense I'd say that it wasn't that much of a pleasant atmosphere to work at Fry's, but Best Buy I could imagine would be.
And it was really a lot more enjoyable, I guess, day to day. You high-fived your employee instead of like yelling at them because they took your sale. So I definitely say that Best Buy had a family, like, it depended on the store that you went to. So the GM actually decides the atmosphere, and I'm sure that happens at a couple of Fry's locations. But for the most part, the GM decides the entire atmosphere for what's happening at that Best Buy. So Port Ranch has a really nice atmosphere. Northridge has a little bit of a competitive atmosphere, and then you go to Burbank, and they're all about just being happy. So it really depends on which store you go to.
Do you guys actually know the history of your places that you guys worked at? Like why they choose blue or yellow as their advertisement, or why they have themes for Fry's? I was just wondering.
Actually, I think the themes for Fry's started off as a like a joke between the two brothers.
Oh, okay.
They tried to make like an alien warship happen out of the one in Burbank, and then at the one in San Marcos, actually it's under the sea, but they're not even close to the ocean, so it was like a joke. And then with Best Buy, I think the blue and yellow started off because that was like marketable, like good colors that people actually felt good about. So like you do a lot of marketing. I did a lot of marketing research, and yellow and blue actually brought out a mode of checking out technology. So the blue color actually makes you want to actually look at that object.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
And if you ever walk into a Best Buy, you'll never look at the signs above you,
Yeah.
because they're white. So they're like white signs in blue, and you'll only look directly like a tunnel vision to your object.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they're designed.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.